Welcome to the Molybdenum Software Show, where sometimes the show doesn't happen because we have insufficient internet. And so we wish for a better future, a better online future for the people of this planet. And maybe it'll be through satellites. Maybe it'll be through just bringing fiber cables everywhere. But I'm looking forward to faster and faster and more available internet everywhere.
Yeah. Everyone should be able to mount program.
It's a basic human right.
Okay, based on the clicking sounds, this looks like it's working well. I think I can tell when you're pressing keys, and I see them immediately appearing.
So here's Next Packages at Master, and here is a big pool. You know why?
The reformat. I saw it go by. Yeah.
Yes.
I was subscribed to the thing. They had a merge party. I saw.
It was my 1 a.m. I think, so I didn't participate. But I am partying right now.
Yeah, what a project. I'm glad. Doing this sort of stuff on large projects is so hard. Like, just both from a technical perspective, it's like moderately interesting, and then from a people perspective, it's just like good fucking luck. At my first job out of college, auto formatters weren't in vogue. Gosh, what was that? 2012. I think they're much more in vogue nowadays. But some people were just trying to say, hey, maybe we could make sure that there's no trailing white space in our code base, right?
No.
People shouldn't object to that, right? And oh man, it's not like anybody said they wanted the trailing white space, but if it was going to cause a merge conflict or the possibility of a merge conflict in one of our release trains, it was like, I don't want it. People would go to I don't think Nick's packages is going to this level of effort, but they did to the point where the auto, the pre-commit, it wasn't Git, it was pure force, but they got to the point where it was it would only remove the white space from the lines you touched, right? So if you touch some large file, it still wouldn't reformat the whole file, which could be conflict prone or whatever. And still people got annoyed for reasons I don't remember. And I was just so bummed. They eventually abandoned the project.
There are 6.6K open PRs.
It's going to be a lot of conflicts. But they only touched files that aren't touched by these PRs or files that haven't been touched lately. I don't know what the criteria was.
That would be, yeah, that would be smart. Although you take what you can get, but across all that number of PRs, they're going to touch a lot of files.
Yeah, there might be some temporal cutoff.
Okay, well, I don't know the details, but I'm looking forward to seeing all of these nicely formatted Nix packages sources.
Yep.
And let's get back to our work.
Alrighty.
And it seems like I don't even have to. Oh, well, you're not sharing screen yet, so we'll see about that later.
Yeah, you might have to pause my upload.
PR tracker. Okay, it's mob start. Divide. Here's the diff.
Okay. Right. Not relying upon the path environment variable. I love it.
If, well, first, this is a breaking change for the use case of compiling this without Nix,
Sure.
not through our flake.
Right.
And I don't think that's necessarily considered a breaking change. I'm not sure, because what's the deliverable here? Is it I think in the scope of a Rust program, this program is consumable without Nix, right? You just have to set some.
Yeah, Cargo would force you to specify these things.
It's a breaking change in the build process.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't care. Whatever you want to call it.
Well, we are going to have to make a decision when we commit. But
Yeah.
before we do that, I also want to talk about the names of these variables.
Yeah, should we put our project name in them?
Not necessarily.
For runtime environment variables, I feel fairly strongly about that, but these are build time environment variables, and I feel less strongly about it in that context.
Uh, I remember a shower thought. I remember having one, but I'm not sure what it is, what it was. It was about the names of these variables. Do you have any thoughts about the names of these variables?
Well, the word path implies, for some people maybe, a colon separated list of directories.
Right, right.
I don't know if that's where you're. Are you leading me somewhere, or are you just?
No, I don't remember what my thought was,
Oh, okay.
but that was part of it. That was part of it.
Yeah, I feel like there must be prior art here, and I'm not thinking of an example off the top of my head.
Sorry.
No worries. So yeah, I'm trying to think of prior art where, some program asks me or gives me an environment variable to override some path to something. I feel like there must be lots of examples of this in Nix packages where we're, you know, configuring some software to build with a absolute path to something. But I can't think of any off the top of my head.
I kind of, so precedent, right? Yeah, maybe an LLM would be useful here. Let me open.
Another thought is people outside of the Nix universe would probably find it odd that this is a compile time thing rather than a runtime thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with it because, we have the power of Nix.
Ah, now I remember my thought. My thought was this is not necessarily a path. We give it a path, an absolute path, because it has to be in the next store. That's how.
Oh, I see. This thing would do a path lookup if somebody gave it a, string without any slashes in it.
it's a command. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about, yes, it could be a relative path, but so a path. What you just said, a path without any slashes in it, is it even a path?
Yeah, I mean, like when you type vi at your shell, right? No no slashes
Uh-huh.
in it. Not a relative path, just a thing with no slashes in it, which your shell decides I'm gonna search through your path to see if I can find this thing. And that's what the Tokyo process command new presumably does under that.
Right. So I was thinking maybe this. You're saying, yeah, it's still a path, even if it's just the final part of it, like.
No, I'm just using the word path to agree with you that I see. I Yeah, I the Tokyo process command thing could do if there are no slashes in this thing. I'm not using the word path. If there are no slashes in this thing, then Tokyo process command is gonna search your path, all caps, to find this thing, and it might find it. And then, like you said, oh, okay, it worked, and it wasn't a path, right? It wasn't a relative nor an absolute path. And those are the only two types of paths that I think exist.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I agree with you. I guess we could potentially change our invocation to make it actually be a path, right? Like to prevent a lookup in the path environment variable.
But for different distros, not NixOS, it's actually desirable. It's like whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
What it could be just it's like just initdb, just Postgres.
yeah. We could say command, but I don't know. To me, command sounds like, is it always a? Maybe we should take terminology from the Docker universe, right? Like when you run a container, you have like what is it? I don't know the terminology. Entry
Entry
point?
point.
Yeah, I don't like that.
But look, we can solve this by not suffixing. You could just say PostgreSQL Postgres and PostgreSQL initdb,
Okay,
and we
works for
can
me.
when we have another one, we have Git. So what would it be? Just Git? I mean,
Good.
again, it's not a runtime thing; it's a build time thing, and a build environment can be, very particular.
Yeah. Okay, works for me. Uh, Perfect. I don't know what's going on here. Uh, I'm in a weird state.
Re- reset hard. Reset hard. Why not?
Git reset shard. What is it? Upstream.
What branch are you on? Mob start would.
Would also do this.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's doing a forced checkout.
got it. Nope, I don't have any environment variables. Oh boy. Okay, well you can see my internet sucks less than last night, but it's still not the bestest thing. 2 gigs out of 4.
It's Big Pike 71.
Big Pike. Oh, the name of the Big Pike?
Yes,
Like that?
71.
Thank you. Okay. Alright, well that thing's chugging along. It'll be
That
done
reminds
in a
me, I told my friend I I'm playing Stallcraft. I,
I thought you
off,
stopped.
I offered him to join me.
Mm-hmm.
I, I, I stopped for a moment after getting murdered a few times. Actually, the very last thing I did while eating my breakfast this morning is playing the game, was getting murdered, and then I just quit. I didn't have more time. I I basically lose a little bit of ammo if I haven't looted anything. If I looted something, I lose that. Usually lose that loot, but it happens not too often, and sometimes I'm the one doing the murdering. So
Yeah, sure.
anyway, I told him, and then he responded in a way that I didn't quite understand. Like his response, something to do with nostalgia. I didn't have nostalgia, a feeling of nostalgia to pick it up and play it. And then I I, I thought about it for a while. Then it came to me, and I asked him, "Hey, do you by any chance like think that I have had a typo and I'm talking about StarCraft?"
Yeah. Okay. That's what I heard when you said Stallcraft for the first time.
It's a funny name.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. And then these as well are getting Postgres W with that. Okay, here we go. Get. Oh no, screwed something up. Uh, sorry. Could have done that a different way. Okay, I think we're good.
So if this is built for Debian, would these be relative or uh, file name
We're guessed.
or absolute? Maybe there could be absolute on Debian as well. Why not?
I would guess they'd just do binary names to sort of make it act like how most non-NixOS software works. But I've never packaged anything for Debian.
Oh, show us the diff against the base branch, but you might have another database. No, you shouldn't have another database.
Origin. Okay, let's see. Get diff t. There you go. Nice big diff.
Actually, this is too much. I think your base branch out of date.
Looks like I'll do origin slash. That'll be cleaner, right? Yeah, that is. Okay, great. So initdb changed to PostgreSQL initdb and PostgreSQL Postgres. Get to get. Threading these environment variables around, totally reasonable. Yep, threading them around and then get. And then, so that's for Clippy, which makes sense. For the dev shell, we need them present so you can do a cargo build outside of the Nix sandbox. Fetcher, yep, beautiful. Three environment variables in a directory. Makes sense.
So why
And
are
now
we
this is,
threading these around at all? For Git, we're not. So why are we threading them around? Isn't it simply the the initdb executable from the PostgreSQL package?
yeah, I think we could make a strong case for just inlining this in 3 or 4 places, which I'm totally fine with.
I think we should do that because I think we have less lines of change.
Yeah, Totally works for me.
It's totally idiomatic, completely idiomatic code. That's like, it's declarative. Like, this is
Yep.
this executable of that package.
Store.next. So I'm going to delete them from here, for starters. That simplifies things quite a bit. Shall I
And it's not
run that
like
through its...
it's likely to change in a way that we want to like make some meaningful change, and then and even if and then we'd have to want to extract something.
Yep. No, I
It's
totally
just
agree.
commands.
Totally fine by me. And then we're doing the same thing here. PostgreSQL, Postgres. Gimme. Okay. And then we need lib, which maybe we can get our hands on here, or do we need to pull that at the...
I think it's
We might need to...
available there as well.
Okay. Love it. Okay. And then I'm just going to search for inherit this. How many are left? Really? That's surprising. I definitely did not get all of these. There. Oh, okay. Get a GraphQL schema. We are not going to do that with. Then those come from here, like that, and goodbye. And then we need packages, which we already have. My bad. Undefined variable. Oh, we need
One
a semi.
line.
There we go. All right. And then fetcher. Fetcher default. There we go. Go. And goodbye.
Oh, I remember now. Uh, last weekend, I was continuing my work, helping a friend to kind of get into NixOS.
Uh-huh.
And then we did for him something that you have implemented in some way, but we did I helped him implement it in a very, I think it's probably a different way, very different way, and that
Mm-hmm.
is switching between light and dark color schemes.
Okay. Yeah.
He currently has an implementation in Arch. And so what we did is we have one home manager module that introduces two scripts, light and dark. And those are simply sequential invocation of a collection of scripts from that are light and dark from different modules, because it exposes an option, something like dark light in home manager.
Mm-hmm.
And then each module, so for example, if the app is Helix editor, then the
Yeah.
Helix module can set provide a value for that option, and that option is a list. So all of the scripts from all the different modules, they get concatenated and turned into one script that executes all of them in sequence.
Wow.
And that means that for each program that uses this option, the implementation can be different. What it
Mm-hmm.
means for that program to do at runtime, hopefully while the program is running, without restarting. But maybe if the program doesn't support that, then it'll just do some whatever, go as far as the program allows you.
Yeah.
but let's say it does support it. So in the case of Helix, it does support. It works with Unix signals. You change the config file
And tell it to reload.
in wherever it expects to find a configuration file, and then you tell it reload config, and it does so, and it works. But then that means that you can't use the home manager options for it,
Sure.
because what we want to end up with is two config files,
Right.
and then to symlink that the script, the two scripts, they symlink the kind of the correct config.
Right.
So
Yeah. Swap out the currently symlinked one when you change it to dark or whatever, and send a signal.
yes, in addition
But
to
then you have
that,
to. Okay.
because you have to make like an initial, when home manager deploys the home, there needs to be a state file that it reads from to see what what was the last deployment. Is it light? Is it dark? Do we have a default if that state is not found?
Hmm.
So that should be implemented. I left him without such an implementation. He figured that he needs that on his own.
Okay.
Um,
I see. So this is like Home Manager still manages those files. I guess it sounded to me like Home Manager wouldn't even manage Helix's config in this
it
universe.
it does, but not via the home manager Helix module.
I see. Okay.
Because you can't do, if you do home
So
manager
it
Helix
declares
enabled, it'll
using
write the
like
config file.
I see. So like using multi-line. Okay, whatever. Using Nix somehow
Home
declares two
manager
config
has an
files.
arbitrary insert files in my home.
Hmm. Got it. And create some links in my home or something. And that's the part that you haven't done yet, is the like actually symlinking the real config file to the dark config file or something.
We did that. It worked.
Oh, but it always sets it to dark or something.
Um, no, you're right. That we didn't. Yeah, it's like deploying home manager is not enough. Was
Then
not
you run
enough. You
something
had
else
to
to
run
create
one
this.
of these
Yeah,
scripts.
that makes sense. Yeah, cool. Yeah. And sorry, so the per program light or dark command, that's stuff that the community is maintaining in Home Manager, or that's something your
No,
friend?
no,
Oh,
we
okay.
made this.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Got it. All right. Yeah. Interesting. And is he doing this for non-terminal based applications like GUI, GTK things, and
We started with Helix. I don't know if we added anything else yet.
got it. Yeah. 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 You're right. That is a very different approach than the one I've taken. Might be a better approach. I just like, ugh, I don't know. I uh, I like the thought of getting everything to just follow from my terminal's configuration, but you've seen the pains that it has caused me, and haven't taken the time to like iron them all out.
Mm. All right. What do we have here? I'm doing a start 7.
Yep. So I think a Nix Flake check might be in order at this point.
Okay.
Okay. I screwed something up, sorry. Clippy. Hmm. Maybe we're still trying to pull that from args.
Good.
Yep, looks like I
Okay.
missed that one. I was searching for an inherit dot star of those things, which these are new lines, so I missed them. Looks good.
That's not right.
Okay.
Check.
Alrighty.
Way. Make it.
Sorry, I've got to look away for a minute. I will be right back.
Right. Looks alright. Looks alright. Mm-hmm. What? Oh, yeah, yeah. And this is where this is where we kind of detected the smell. That is where we detected the smell. But I think they can be under env. So they show up in several places in make shell and buildworks in the here and here and here. All these places, I think they could go under env. So, for example, build workspace package.
Okay, I'm back.
I think in all these places they can go under env. Build
Yeah,
workspace
I've seen env as like a
package.
key that people set, and I don't understand how it differs from just setting things at sort of the top level like we are.
This is a call to build workspace. Okay, so this is a okay. So for example, API default. I think env.
Yes.
I'll try this.
Yeah, do you know how that differs from what we were doing?
What differs? Uh, derivation is where it seems to work. So the derivation ends up the same because I don't see a
Yeah.
different build here.
Yeah, we didn't even rebuild.
So do you know derivation function?
Derivation functions?
Yeah, the derivation function, like built-ins derivation.
Oh, yes. I mean, I'm aware it exists.
I think this is where um, its API is small.
Yes.
There's command, args, and a few more things, and
Environment
everything
variables.
else becomes environment variable.
Yeah.
I think even the command and like everything becomes an environment variable anyway, I think. I'm not certain though. In any case, this is where this comes from. But starting from std_env make derivation, I think you can place environment variables under env, and maybe that's slightly more ergonomic.
Just like kind of a way of documenting your intent.
Right. Because otherwise,
Yeah, maybe
it's more
somebody
clean. Like,
hoped.
I don't think it was ever a good idea for derivation to place every single thing. It probably should have been this way.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the only way that you can communicate from the Nix universe into the builder universe is via environment variables. So like everything has to become an environment variable. I think what's confusing to me is like it doesn't seem like there's any difference between using env or not using env. Like either way, like we just notice the exact same derivation gets produced.
Because
Maybe some.
because obviously the derivation call would be the same. It doesn't have, right?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So I don't know if somebody has some hopes to someday in the future, like provide some type checking on these std_env derivation invocations.
Hey, maybe it has. Maybe if you put a number there, it won't just automatically force.
Yeah. Okay. Next flake check. Are we in business now? You just ran it. We must be, right?
Yes, but if
Okay.
I suggest we change all those, nest them under env.
Okay. Great. Okay. So let's take a look. Here's one right here in clippy.nix. Oh,
Git as well.
thank you. Modules dev shell. And fetcher default and equals. Okay. Here we go. And we are something. Okay. Good. Diff T. Let's take a look. There's an env. There's another one. And a third one. And a fourth one. Okay. I think
That's
we're in
not that
business.
bad.
No, it is not. But I feel good about this if you do.
Sorry, I was focused on the fact that it's not the static instead of actually looking at the.
Okay, here we go. From the top. Environment variables,
First
build
hunk,
time, build time,
second hunk.
couple environment variables for the build.
Um,
Here we're grabbing lib from here, which is a
API
little
doesn't need
inconsistent.
Git.
And it does not have Git. So we did good.
Clippy does because like builds everything.
Checking everything. Yeah.
Check, not build.
Yep.
Dev shell does because
Yeah.
everything. And input from serves us, but env from might also have been useful.
Yep. That would have been nice. We want the ability to build these things. I don't think there is an end from.
And also, I dug with raw, but to some degree, and we couldn't find a way to evaluate into the all these packages, because here is another set, right? Self prime packages. We have the
This
other
thing?
set, yeah, and we couldn't find a way to like dig into them and like, extract the env.
Environment of it? Yeah. Well, you get a lot more stuff, right?
Yeah, but I
It'd be a
want
huge mess.
this env.
Yeah.
Only this explicitly specified std env. Maybe it does not survive,
Right.
on its own as its own thing.
Yeah. I mean, could we do something clever where, like,
But
I mean, we could wrap this in a helper, but like, did you consider trying to use override and then using the old things and sticking it in the new things pass through and then pulling
oh
it out of
boy,
the new things
what?
pass through?
Uh, that sounds hacky.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said we could hide it in a helper function. But does that make sense what I'm saying?
No, I don't get it.
Let
But
me
before
see.
we
I
entertain some hacky thing,
hmm
what Rob and I did not try is actually using env. It was all the top level.
hmm
So maybe we could open a REPL and dig into the one of the packages now and see whether we could find something. I'm pausing your upload.
Thank you. Nothing is happening right now. So there we go. That took a while to evaluate, and now it's cached or whatever. So, no love there. If we do this little hack, we can see all the things. Like
What
if you
was
know what to
that?
look for, they're there.
If you remove the type, if it's not derivation, then that's an
Yeah. So
interesting tip.
derivations are just outer sets with type equals derivation, and they get formatted in this pretty way.
Cool tip. Well,
Got that from the pills. Like, see, there's a weird
hmm,
derivation, right?
hmm, I guess the REPL doesn't know any better, or maybe it's not the REPL; it's the printing
Yeah.
tracing.
Now this looks like something weird happened, right? This is that weird bug we run into occasionally. So I'm gonna try doing that again. See if we get the same artifact. And yeah, now it didn't happen. So
It's
that's
cached.
yeah. So yeah, I mean there's that stuff. You can presumably get your hands on it, but that's only if you know what you're looking for.
Yes, yes. It's also the only all caps thing here.
Yeah. Args. So yeah. I,
It's
I I think
pass
it
through
doesn't make it
empty.
through. Yeah. And the hack I was suggesting would be I think it's what, override adders? Is that what I'm looking? I think it's override adders is what I want, and there would be something like
Override adders lets you override the other set that make derivation was called with.
yeah, thing, and it's the make derivation from std_env, right? There they are. So that was the hack I was suggesting.
Oh, that's like stealing. Just a moment.
Sure.
I never realized this is possible, but it is.
Right,
You can
because in this
steal
context,
anything from. You can obtain any.
yeah, I've never actually done this. I've entertained how to do this before. um, I don't know what the helper function would be called. Maybe it even exists somewhere in Nix packages for all I know. So like on the scale of like weird hack, is it worth it? Like for our particular use case here, I could go either way. Like it would be nice to just in the Clippy and in the shell to say like, yeah, I just want the environment variables from, the build environment variables from these two derivations because I want to be able to build them in an impure way. And so that would be nice. The implementation's kind of nasty and feels brittle or obscure. So I could really go either way on this.
Hmm. The fact that we are creating a subderivation in order to just obtain the.
Yeah. I guess that for completeness' sake, another thing we could do is we could just follow this convention ourselves, right? We could say, like, on all our derivations, we'll add a pass through a build env. And it's just like a convention we follow within our,
Yeah.
within this project. And that wouldn't involve any weird hacks. It would just be leveraging pass
Look,
through.
you remember that we have in the NCI branch we're using a different shell, so we don't
Right.
call make shell anymore.
Well, so maybe our options are more limited in that universe.
Oh no, I don't think. I don't know if they're limited. My point is that we are motivated to not make more changes because it's going to conflict anyway. Kind of to
Yeah.
reduce our conflicts.
Sure.
Can continue this way.
Okay. Works for me. All right. So I think we're done.
Maybe we have in dev shell. Maybe we have more options,
Yeah.
but I don't think we have this option anyway. Like it's not about a feature of the shell builder. It's a feature of how to obtain these.
Yes. Yeah.
I think arguably this could be a useful student contribution.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically like student, you and I have used like Nix develop or whatever a few times, right? Which sets up a bash shell with all the environment variables necessary to build the thing. It's like, that's kind of what we want for our development shell in this repo is just like, give me the environment variables necessary so that I can actually like do a cargo build.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I mean, it's funny, like taken to the logical extreme, Nix would, if you tried to do that, you'd end up in the same thing that you get with Nix develop. Cargo would be configured in a way where it's not even allowed to talk to the internet, right? Like it would have, it would somehow be pointing at those fixed output derivations that contain the source code of
How
the
did
crates we
you
depend on.
reach that extreme?
I'm just thinking like, how we've done this before and it's always been really painful, where we do something like Nix develop and then some command, and then it like drops us into a bash shell that is basically the builder environment.
Yes.
And that builder environment for Rust crates must be downloading all the crates we depend on, and all the crates we depend on must exist somewhere in the Nix store, and there must be environment variables like, cargo must be configured in some way such that it knows how to discover all those crates, right? Because the build,
Mm-hmm.
the Rust build in the Nix sandbox isn't going to be allowed to, the cargo running in there isn't going to be allowed to talk to the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess what I'm saying is like the most general form of the thing that we're maybe asking for would be like, hey, just set up my dev shell with all the environment variables that like the Nix sandbox has so that I can just do a cargo build or whatever. But that would
Uh,
also,
I'm not sure that's not a thing. I think that might be a thing
it seems like it would
already
be a thing.
somehow.
Yeah.
But this is more like you can build a dev shell in more than one way. And regardless of the way, what we want is a dev shell for multiple that dev shell that has an environment to build multiple different things. So it's a
Yeah.
merge of different things.
Right.
So we're not in the business of designing that builder. I think those builders exist and they're pretty simple and they have what's needed. Uh, except for, and I don't remember whether dev shell. Yeah, I think dev shell has inputs from as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what's missing is the env from, and I think obviously the reason it's missing is because it's not available. So if we just change the fact, we just add that, make it available, at least the version where it was defined via env,
Yeah. Yeah.
then the make shell could also, it could be the same contribution justifying itself in Nix packages, both the make shell and the
Mm-hmm.
exposing of the env on the derivation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then other things like NumTide dev shell could
Yeah.
implement the
What I'm
same.
what I'm saying, I guess, is that like you can get all the environment variables. Like if you're willing to be indiscriminate, given a derivation, you can get all the environment variables that would be set for the builder, right? Like it's literally all those attributes. It includes the two that we happen to care about here.
What's the downside of including all of them?
Yeah, I don't. I've never really thought about this. So
I think
what I'm thinking about.
in one way at least it would be funny, and that is the most of them are exact same names, actor names.
Yeah, so you'd be clobbering a lot of these if
Right,
you were
the
trying to
last one
merge.
wins, but that also kind of suggests that actually it's the one only the ones that are different. It's like the, how do you say, the opposite of union?
Yeah, like we'd want the
The,
ones where they're the same,
come on, the
basically across all
set
our.
theory, the difference, the difference of all of them.
Yeah, I mean it's weird because this isn't a set, right? This is a collection of keys and values. So when you say difference, I'm not sure if you're talking about the keys, the values, or like the key value
They're keys.
pairs. Okay.
The keys.
yeah, so I don't know. Like if you looked at like API versus fetcher, for instance. Oh my gosh, fetcher. Jeez, sorry. Like the difference here, I don't know, get shows up in fetcher, but not in API. But like,
It's not the
you,
difference then,
yeah,
because then we wouldn't get Postgres, the two
right.
PostgreSQL one.
I mean, I feel like what you want are the ones that can be the same, like the key value pairs that are identical between the two. No, that doesn't do it either because gates
No,
is
because there's gates.
yeah,
What we want is everything except for the default ones
yeah,
that you. So, but we that's not sound. We just want the ones provided via env.
yeah. I mean, in this context, it would work to just take all these and throw them in the shell indiscriminately, but it feels messy. Yeah, it would be interesting to, put that PR together and see what feedback we get. Like people might
Mm-hmm.
tell us, no, actually, this is the way you should be doing it, or maybe people would say, like, yeah, that actually makes sense and would be nice. I've wanted that before.
All right.
Or
Um,
potentially it's a tool for like, I don't know. Like maybe it's not a std job. Maybe it's like a crane job or, like a higher level tooling specific, like language toolchain specific tool should provide this.
I don't buy that.
Yeah.
Just environment variables. The reason they exist in the build of something, when you put something in env of make derivation, it will exist for all phases, right?
Hmm.
I'm just assuming that makes sense to me. It's because it's needed in some phases,
Yep.
and therefore you probably want it in the shell because you're probably building in the shell.
Yeah. I guess what I'm saying is like, how is this setting up an environment for the Nix sandbox that actually has like a cargo binary that can be invoked?
Native build inputs.
Got it.
Rust
Okay.
stable.
Got it. Okay. And so this is the stuff inputs from is pulling from. And I guess that's interesting.
Not only
Native
there's native
native
build
build inputs,
inputs, native check input. I think there's
sure, like all the inputs or something.
build maybe.
Now, I'm a little confused. Native build inputs, that is accessible on this derivation, but it's not something that built-ins.derivation understands, right?
Correct. It's for the phases.
Okay. So the various phases of the student builder set up paths based on the various
Mm-hmm.
inputs based
Yeah, I
on
think
what
so.
phase they're in. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so it makes sense. Like this happens to be accessible and therefore usable by make shell, but the reason it's accessible is not probably wasn't for make shell's purposes. It was probably for the underlying student builder, and it just happened to be useful for make shell.
Yeah, that ship sailed a long time ago.
Right. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I'd buy it. I mean, the PR you are proposing makes sense to me.
Okay.
Put it on the list of things for us to do someday.
Uh,
I will rotate. I think we're ready to do a mob done. I may have lost your audio. Oh, we're back.
Hmm. Okay. Review. This is API default. Instead of native check inputs, we embed them in they're from the store.
Yep.
Build time. See, here lib is from the top.
Yeah, I think we're a little inconsistent about that.
But there is an excuse.
Yeah, it was
Dev
already.
shell. I don't see that other lib. There's the other lib here. Because here the
Yeah,
top is empty. It's not a function.
right. This diff looks ready to go. To
This
my
is nice
eyes.
to remove. Now we're providing a real executable, not a wrapper.
Yep.
Fetcher. That's that. Native check inputs. There is no such thing. And native build inputs. Okay. Mob.
Feels good to me.
Let's check one more time. And it's cached. Okay. Status. That's what we already saw. Commit this and look. That was a hook. That was formatting hook.
Wonderful. Pardon me.
So this is
You were debating if it was a breaking change.
well, it's a feature, right? Well,
Well, maybe.
it's a feature for not the user but the builder, right? And then therefore the user, because the Nix user would benefit from this. No, the Nix user wouldn't make the difference because the Nix user got a wrapper. What
Yeah,
user would benefit from this? Well, it's the maybe the non-Nix user would benefit from this.
maybe. I don't know. It depends on how the non-Nix user is getting this software. If they're getting it from some package manager, then some package manager, presumably took the effort to set up the dependencies.
Okay, so runtime, that's defined at build time.
Sure.
These are all the runtime devs, right? Otherwise, we would have known because it would have failed. We
Yep.
no longer provide we don't provide other things, like for example, if we look at this is API. We don't provide anything else. And build workspace package itself, where is it in create utils? It doesn't add any stuff. Yeah. Not runtime things.
Yep.
Okay.
Why are we making this change?
Why?
I don't remember the context. It's something about NCI, right?
Well, we noticed it while doing NCI. We didn't have to do it. We noticed it. It
Right.
was already a smell.
But we had to do it to solve some problem we're experiencing over in the NCI branch.
I'm sorry, I don't remember that.
Okay, I guess we'll be reminded. All
Mm-hmm.
right.
Breaking change is that I think this is the breaking change basically. So I'll just put a bang here.
Sure.
Okay, and I'm just merging this to main.
Works
Merge.
for me.
Push. Branch D. Git push delete origin remove branch D. Did you try lazy git?
I have not heard of lazy yet.
You haven't even heard of it. I haven't tried it. Let's try it.
What is lazy git?
Thanks for using lazy git. Seriously, you rock. Well, if I rock by using it, I'll certainly continue using it. I mean, what choice do I have? I must rock. In this lifetime, I must rock.
Too old to rock and roll. Too young to die.
3 things to share with you. One, if you want to learn, there's a video. Be sure to read the latest release notes. If you're using Git, that makes you a programmer. With your help, you can get better. That's solid reasoning, mostly.
Well,
Oh, Q, quit the whole thing. Okay, don't press Q here. Press Enter. So this is a TUI. I don't know
okay.
what tab. Okay, tab goes through these. There's and also 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're numbered 5. There's no 6. I don't know how to go to the right. Key bindings. So there's a whole thing here.
Okay.
Commits, stashes. Look at my stashes.
Yeah.
It's
Seems like a
pretty.
lot of love.
Why not? Try it. Maybe it's cool. And over to you.
Sharing screen.
I think I've earned it by now.
What is the thing you have
You
earned?
know, GUI or TUI for Git.
You're comfortable enough with the commands you've earned having.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know how it goes. Um, um, what is there some mob command to clean up my branches? Mob
There's mob
clean.
clean, but it's only the work in progress.
Okay, yeah, those are.
The mob slash. And then,
Well,
according to that, you could clean the base ones.
so
It'll
whatever
tell
this
you.
prints out, I'm gonna get branch dash D of the corresponding base branches.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, whatever. Oh no, Control X, Control E, but not how you. Right. Things I use once every month that I don't know how to do in Fish, apparently. Just take the current command and fire it up in Vim. Okay. Uh, DB. All right, Mob NCI, that's where we're going.
Um. uh,
Then I'll do a mob start and we'll rebase on top of the work we
yeah.
just did.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. I'm not going to wait for that. I'm going to do a mob done.
Yes.
Sound good? Okay. Once again, not going to wait for that shell or that shell. Okay. Git commit,
stash,
git stash. Okay. Now,
rebase.
is there anything on this branch? Or git pull dash dash rebase, origin main. Okay. Then we'll do git stash pop.
Push. Wait, where did you get? That's the rebase. Now, after
Yep.
the rebase, you push,
Okay. Push.
and then we'll
Okay.
start.
I'll start.
And now pop.
Okay. Fun, fun, fun. Flake
Oh,
that
you know
luck.
what? I think we should. I think we should. Not well. Not don't. For the flake lock, I think we should cancel the popping. You know how to do that? Because
Yeah,
it failed. You still have the stash.
sure.
So just cancel the popping, and then reset the flake lock so we don't have flake lock changes, and then you'd be able to pop.
Okay. So you're saying in this branch, I have.
Wait, what am I saying? Hold on. Hold on. No, I'm wrong. No, do the pop, but then just reset the flake lock. Like ignore the changes. What is this?
Whatever. Wrong file. Doesn't matter. Git add flake.mix. Git diff flake.lack. Pardon me.
We want there to not be
Sorry. Yeah. And now I'm just gonna check this thing. Right?
restore, or okay,
So,
check out with from head. I suppose you're right.
right.
But then
Grunge. Not ready for that.
yeah, well,
Okay,
flake
and
lock
now our
is modified, but it's okay now.
yeah, makes sense. We do have changes to flake.mix here. Totally reasonable. Oh, it's great. Makes sense that Clippy disappeared because that's now provided by NCI.
Yes,
I'll just
accept that.
git RM that.
Yeah.
Okay. And now we've got, oops, sorry, API default
Yeah, let's hit them
right
one by
there.
one.
Okay. So
What
let's
is empty formal?
I mean, this is, I don't know what a formal is, but this
This is
is,
syntax, but what LSP
this is,
server is this from?
this is from,
NextD?
yeah, it must be, right?
Okay. And sometimes people have syntax type spell
Yeah,
checking.
this is NXT.
Okay. I think in this case we can just for the first conflict we can just remove the conflict markers and figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay, that was
So we'll
easy.
see what ends up getting used. Okay, packages.api, build workspace package is
Well, what is this?
gone.
This is
We need
this is
this. This is the important thing, right?
this is API. Okay, this is API default next.
Yeah. So we need to figure out how to convert this into the NCI universe. The NCI universe exists down here. So I'm just going to paste that. No, that's not the right place for it.
Mm-hmm.
Delete everything else. So we somehow need
Okay.
to express this in the NCI universe. That's, I've got some conflict markers there, so we'll get back to that in a second. But I want to get to the point where I can do a mob next.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to leave that like that. I'm dumping over here. But things are kind of messy. So per system, I'll just take one. Doesn't really
Just
matter.
accept updated upstream. Uh, what is that? I'm confused. Stashed, change it. Okay, that's the stash base and the stash change. Changes has the dev shell, the imports dev shell flake module.
Yeah, I'm not going to get rid of that. So I'm going to keep the per system that has the most arguments. I'm going to, we've got a let that's now gone, it appears. So I am going to remove that. So we have something
Could
syntactically.
could you, for me, do this in a way that is like atomic? Like, yeah,
I'd love to, but I don't know how.
I can help you. Open a keep the stuff you want to keep, lines 20 to 22.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that somewhere.
Okay, it is somewhere.
Okay. Now copy lines,
Like you
yank
want me to put it
lines.
in a new buffer? Is that what you're saying?
Sure. That's what I would do because I'm not good with registers.
Okay, so it is now on the right half of my screen.
Got it. Now take lines 7 to 12, yank them.
Okay.
Now select from 6 to 25 and
Okay.
paste.
All right. Works for me.
Now take the part that is,
This
and
has to go down here.
that's right. That
Okay.
was atomic,
I see. Sounds good.
or at
Okay.
least some version of atomic. What I meant was that, I don't know, I want to
No,
call this atomic.
I
Is
hear
it
you.
okay to call it atomic?
I mean, I don't know what the word is, but like you want to do operations, accepting the change as opposed to just like leaving stuff around the change.
I just what's driving me is that don't break syntax.
Well, the syntax is already broken. So
Sure.
yeah, it's like noble goal, but we're not in that universe right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's for the purpose of mobbing. Make changes that are apparent, and
Sure.
it's like right that not are in every. That's what I kind of call atomic, right? That a single change uh, is conveyed.
Yeah.
Its meaning is clear.
Yeah. No,
It's not that it's
I hear you.
multiple steps that most of them are in your mind.
Yep. Okay. So here we've got the shiny new dev shell. Here we also have a shiny new. Oh no. All these are calling make shell. Never mind. That's the old shit. This is the shiny new thing right here that we want. This shiny new thing needs the environment variables. Okay, so I'm taking the environment variables, I'm putting them over there. And then I'm gonna clobber this whole thing with these three lines. Sound good?
Just seeing the differences, inputs from packages and access. And there's a shell hook,
Yes.
line
That
39.
might be good eye. That's from our friend whose
Yes,
name I don't remember. Okay,
Michael.
great. So thank you, Michael. We've got those two things. This is from the work we just did.
Hmm.
This is from Michael.
Yes,
Sound good?
yes.
Okay, so I'm taking this, highlighting all this. It's clobbered.
Boom.
Okay. And then these two things, I need to figure out how to thread them into this universe. Env looks like it already exists, so that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Adders to list. Weird. Okay, so this thing just needs to be a list, and there's a nice helper for that. That's awesome. I used DevShell, and I did not know about this helper. That is nice to know about.
Okay,
Um,
yeah, exactly.
great. And then shell hook might exist. Who knows?
You'd have to see documentation, but I think now We can rotate.
We're almost there. I mean, we
Almost
could
there.
rotate at any point, but
Oh, there's another
there's
one?
this last file right here, fetcher.
We can rotate at any point. Because we can just
Yeah.
do mob next and there's no harm. We don't lose anything.
Yep. Shall I mob next?
Sure.
I mean, we lose some stuff. You know, there's this state here that says unmerged paths,
That is also
which
in
you're going to
the...
lose.
That's also as markers, right?
Yep. Okay. Take it.
7. Pull. Fetch. Switch MCI. Reset. Hard at upstream. I think mob start would have... Yeah, mob start would have done that. Okay. Search for that. What is this over here? These are 2 conflicts.
Yep.
Updated upstream. I didn't really want to set this. I'm trying to get better at do this again for finger memory. New. That's what I want. Updated upstream is the stash base, is that, and stash changes is this. This is, let's just put it here. Make derivation, NCI create PR tracker, fetcher DRV config. These will not be here. That's probably when we said, hey, that's strange, right? But this is for, yeah, this won't,
Yep.
you
That's
don't
fine.
need any of that. So
And
we
we do
don't,
need
these are
environment
just
variables.
wrappers though.
We do need environment variables somehow.
So I think, okay.
I don't know if that goes in DRV config or is it a top level thing?
So we will accept this and we'll copy over these.
Yep.
This is what we set aside.
Mm-hmm.
Just that, not this. This should have already somehow been, I don't know, I'll keep it. I'm not sure what's going on. And I will accept this.
Sounds good.
Here's another one. Updated upstream is this, but this exists here. So, this is the stash base. This is the stash changes. So there's nothing useful here. I'll just take this and accept it.
Okay, cool. And now we know the answer about where to put the environment variables, so that's great.
This goes away.
Equals. Yep. As do the native and native check and build inputs. All of that can go.
Git Postgres and make wrapper.
Yep.
Here's env.
Beautiful.
That, okay. And
love it. Love it, love it, love it.
That buffer. Can we format now? Is it okay? No, it's not.
It's gonna.
Not yet. Please remove that. Maybe this as well.
Yep.
And I think this can also do that. Then take contents or take this literal, place it over that.
Looks good.
Okay. Do we have any more? Oh yeah.
This is just stuff from me, I believe.
Oh. We have
So it should be like syntactically valid Nix code at this point.
we actually have this
Oh no.
literal.
But not less than, right? Those
Only
are
in
just left
comments.
over from me. Yeah.
Cool. Shell hook. Let me see. Egg parts. Dev shell hook. Oh no. I don't see a hook here. Hook, 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 hook. For system that sells the commands package, commands and commands packages, that shell packages from the shell interactive name, the interactive load. Wait, what is text script to run in interactive mode?
That sounds likely to be it.
Mm-hmm. And there's a hierarchy of steps. But okay, so it's likely to be it, right? Let's just copy this here. And because I think we are using githooksnix. Maybe this knows about NumTy dev shell. Just a wild guess, right?
Sure.
NumTy, no. Dev shell, no. Shell, wait. Dev shell. This is an entire dev shell.
Mm-hmm.
We're not using that. Okay.
Yep.
Dev shell. So it could be what we saw. It's the interactive.
Yeah.
Where is it? Interactive. That shall load profiles. Whatever. Meta, messed of the day. Name, project root fallback, project root fallback. I don't even know what project fallback is. Startup. A list of other steps that this step depends on. Startup, depths.
Startup also sounds promising. Possibly more promising.
Dev shell's name and bam, 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 bam. Service groups. Okay. Mob next.
Yep. Excuse me. All right, we're on the MCI branch.
Yes.
Great. All right, where were we? Dev shell?
Yes.
Okay. We're in allow. All right. Okay, before we try to get that, I'd like to actually repro the issue. So I can't repro the issue because I can't even load the dev shell. So why is Flake parts lib missing? Weird. This is not code we own. This is code in dev shell itself. Okay. So it's expecting to have a Flake parts lib. You have any idea what's going on here?
No. Can we see the changes to flake.nix?
Sure. There we go. Ah, Flake. Next. Okay. Crane changed. Crane, Phoenix disappeared. NCI and DevShell appeared.
Just like a shot in the dark. Bump, Nix Flake update, both NCI and DevShell. Because they're new here. I don't mind
Okay.
updating them. What's this is still the case, right?
Yep. No love.
Can we see the flake lock changes?
Flake part libs. All per system option declarations must now use. Okay. Sorry. What do you want to see?
Flake lock changes. And timer.
Did I not give a mob start?
Maybe your shell didn't initialize.
Okay. Annoying. Okay. What do you want to see?
It's funny that Crane was bumped. We didn't opt in to bumping Crane.
Mm-hmm. It's no longer a direct dependency, it's a transitive dependency.
Correct.
Yeah. So it's a detail that, yeah, I mean, we removed the grain. We added something else, which happened to pull along dependencies.
Mm-hmm. Replacing Phoenix with Dream to Nix. What else? Oh, we have two Flake compat.
Mm-hmm.
Let's deduplicate this.
Okay. Let's see if there are any others to dedupe while we're at it.
Make naked shell. NCI.
Your script overlay. Project Nix. Rust overlay. Slimlock. Okay. Yeah, that's the only dupe. Oops. Flake compat. Nix flake. Metadata.
Git hooks Nix has one.
I see one quite deep. That's good. So there's one layer deep, and we don't depend on it ourselves. Ugh.
Okay, maybe we should leave this. Flake compat is tiny.
Yeah. Okay. So leaving that alone. I like that. I want to see this flake parts lib. Something new in. So if I go to dev shell, git pull, doesn't even show up for me in. Oh wait, wrong dev shell. I don't have a cloned. Numtide dev shell. Oops. This is not new, is it? Okay. This got added March 2023. Never mind.
Let's see the stack trace.
So this file that we're looking at here is a flake parts module, right? And so it's expecting flake parts to provide these. Is it possible we're just... Okay, I'll rotate. Up next.
We maybe are importing a top level module which is actually a per system,
Okay, I like that theory.
or the
Or vice
inverse.
versa. Yeah.
So we have a new import somewhere. Git diff and CI.
Could you share screen?
We have a new imports. This is in per system. This is wrong. This is wrong. We don't do this. I wish there was a better error message, but this is here.
Okay.
Remove.
Sounds reasonable. Good guess.
Thank you. Rust 183. Oh, I wanted to have a conversation about the Rust bootstrapping problem.
What is the Rust bootstrapping problem?
You know how the traditional compilers, the C compilers, there are ways to bootstrap them from, like, to compile the compilers by using a chain of increasingly feature-rich, increasingly featureful, increasingly more featured compilers.
Yes.
The first one is like written obviously in machine code that is obviously architecture specific, and then there are increasingly featureful compilers, and then you get to the fully featured compilers such as lib, GNU libc, no, what am I saying?
GCC.
GCC, LLVM, Clang.
And then
But
is Rust built in Rust nowadays?
yes, now
Okay, so you have to
it's
like
been for
build the
for
last version
years.
of Rust that was written in C++ or something, and then you use that to walk your way up the newer and newer versions of Rust.
Which is awfully impractical. If at all, like, when was the last time anyone did that? I think no one. Like, I don't think there's a script anywhere that does this. Like, why would there
I
be?
mean, so how does Nix do this? Or does it not?
Yeah. I don't know. It probably doesn't. Probably a binary distribution. I don't know. You want to see like the Rust in Nix?
I mean, it's an interesting question. I have no idea how this works for, it's not a Rust specific problem either, right? It's a GCC problem as well, or a
Sure,
Clang
but
problem.
yeah, but somehow they've been solved through a lot of effort. So I don't know how to, like, in general solve It's like, if you want to solve this properly, then the language itself must be composed of like in subsets. Does that make sense? There need to be subsets of the language in increasing complexity, and then a chain of compilers that
Yeah,
increase in complexity to support those.
yeah. And I mean, that's literally what you're describing is the development of the Rust language, right? New features get added. The compiler doesn't get to use the new features until you have a
Yeah.
compiler that
Yes.
understands the new features.
Yes. 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 So Rust, C, tools, Rust, languages, development, compilers, development, compilers, Rust, Bootstrap.
Okay, there's something.
What do you think this
Yeah,
is?
I don't know. Is it the Rust source code? Or is it something more interesting?
This Rust. Maybe we'll get it.
So, I mean, like rewinding a bit, does Crane provide from source
I don't know.
Rust or okay? Because yeah, like I made that comment the other day when you showed me that thing that mentioned that it had binary builds of Rust, and I didn't stop to think that oh yeah, wait, actually compilers are in this weird class of their own when it comes to building from source.
What are we looking at here?
I thought this thing was a tarball.
Well, I don't
Did
know the
you strip
version.
some stuff off of the URL?
Yes, I don't know.
Oh, okay, I see.
Know what version to give it, but I could guess. There's 183.
Linux.
Mate, yeah, who knows? 183.0. I don't think this guessing. It's I would probably not then. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
what
mean,
it
we
is.
could deduce it from the Nix code, or maybe even get the Nix code to tell us the answer.
But we also call Rust lang and see whether that's like literally how you download Rust. Download Rust releases. Rust releases. Right? Should have the links. Ooh. Oh, source code. That's not what we wanted. Versions. Releases.rs 83.
Is it hard to pull this in a Nix REPL from the code we were looking at in Nix?
Not sure. I'll rotate.
Okay.
Hold on a moment. I did not move next, and now I did.
Are we nexted?
Now I'm next.
Okay. Monster 7. I'll do my git pull. Very exciting. All right. Nix REPL, Nix. Oh, over here. Nix REPL. No, what was it? Rust C def package. Nope. Compiler. Rust C
It was
M Rust C.
bootstrap.next.
It's the M. This looks different than the file you were looking at.
Yeah, I don't think that's.
Compiler. Oh, I was searching for Rust C. Maybe that was the wrong thing to look for. Rust C.nix. Why does this look so different from what you had open?
Because that was in the bootstrap.next.
Rust Bootstrap. Okay, got it. All right. We have no idea how this thing gets involved in anything. Bootstrap.nix. Okay, well, platform and comes from std env host platform. So is that like just a thing I can? Nope. Okay. Okay. There's that. And then where does version come from?
Try 183.0.
Okay.
That should be.
Oh, that's weird. Enter didn't do what I expected it to there. There we go. Version is 1.83.0.
Maybe.
Platform is this thing. That's an HTTP 200 with some binary output. Yep. There it is. There might have been a cooler, more Nixie way of doing that. Packages.prebuilt. Okay. XVF, Rust, dash whatever. Oh boy, there's a lot in there. This is a pretty big file. Right. Find.def name. What is it? File. Find.def name. No, find.def exec. File. Like that. How do I get file to just tell me what's in there? Okay,
That's what file
just.
does.
Well, it also prints out the file name. I just want the. I wanted to get a sense of what types of files we're dealing with here.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping to just get file name. Like I just want to exclude
Try
the file name.
Toke.
Try what?
Program called Toke.
Toke. Like Spanish for touch? To
Tokei.
E E I. Okay. Got your code quickly. Okay. Sure. Okay.
Let's call it inside that path.
Like. Okay. Well, my CPU is going wild. That's a good sign.
It might be named after one of my favorite animals.
uh, what is it possibly named after?
Tokay gecko.
Oh,
Latin name gecko gecko.
whoa. Colorful. Scientific name gecko gecko. This is the most gecko of geckos.
Yeah, it makes wonderful sounds. Is it still computing there?
Yeah, it's going wild.
Hmm.
I'll put a null character at the end of the file name. Nice to cut the output. So I think this is the way you're supposed to do it. If you're file flake.next, then how do you use cut? And cut null? Okay, so you use dash z, cut dash dash zero terminated, and then I'd say 1, 2. You must specify, can't pipe into cut, Mr. Den. Print selected parts of lines from each file.
With no file, or
Oh,
when
when file
file
is
is.
dash.
You must specify a list of bytes, characters, or fields.
Okay, I want the field.
The options and then
Oh, dash
file.
f. Dash fields. There we go. That isn't doing anything.
Hmm.
I don't see a null character here. Oh, there it is. 0, 0. There's very much a null. Okay, use line delimiter is null. Okay, but I'm not talking about line delimiters. I'm talking about field delimiters. That's our
Yeah.
issue. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So I want dash dash delimiter equals, I don't know how to give this thing a 0. Delimiter. I can't spell.
Try this 1 1 0. I mean backslash 0. Single character. This is not escaping. Try double quotes instead.
That.
Hmm.
Let me try in a
What's
shell I'm more familiar with real fast, because I'm pretty sure $ single quote. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now we're in business.
business?
I don't know how to use fish. Okay. Copied to my clipboard, opening up a new terminal here.
New shell doesn't have this problem.
Yeah. All right. So find
Null character.
dot dash exec. Oh boy. Oh boy. There's no way that's gonna. You can't do it like that. Is that gonna work? I doubt it. Yeah, no, that's just like.
I think Toke is not doing what it's supposed to do. No way it's taking that long.
Yeah, it's
I
just
think it's
disappointing.
can it be told like not follow symlinks or something?
Oh, maybe. Yeah. User bin and there we go. That'll do $1. We'll do a chmod plus X on that thing. Do it on, give me some file. There we go. Okay. Now find, and we'll just say exec, do it, backslash semi, there we go. And then we'll pipe that into store, no, what is it? Sort unique dash C for count or something? Yeah, there we go. Okay. And then we can, okay, figure out how we were misusing that thing. Nothing about,
Ooh, you know what? Maybe it uses Git.
okay.
Yeah, and then it goes to the root. It goes to wherever you have Git somewhere.
Uh, yeah, I'm in a Nix, I'm ultimately in Nix packages, so that would be a understandably expensive operation that it's trying to do.
Then tell it to not use Git or put it where there is no Git.
Yeah. No, ignore these. Just move this. Okay. Well, there's a Duran in that project. That's odd. Okay, here we go.
I'm sure you copied the right thing. Why would there be a deer in that tarball?
No, it must be referring to. Oh, it's in my temp directory. There's one. Bit of to avoid confusion. Okay, there. Reload. Yeah, sorry. Okay. Okay. We have competing things chugging along. This is a big thing with a lot of files.
Hmm.
Okay, let's see what this says. It just contains tools for now, but it would conceivably contain libraries too. Say if we pick some default / recommended versions to build by Hydra, the endgame Rust C, the core standard library and cargo, would themselves be built with build Rust crate, like everything else. Tools and build RS and procedural macro dependencies would be taken from build Rust packages. Bootstrap Rust packages for anything provided pre-built, or the build time dependencies to break cycles / purify builds. In this way, Nix packages would be in control of all bootstrapping. Okay, I think that answers. This implies that Nix packages is not doing all the bootstrapping, at least at the time of this comment being written. So yeah, it certainly smells like there are executables in that tarball that we downloaded. There's a shell script, but yeah, there. Look, yeah, there are definitely elf files in that tarball.
Hmm?
So yeah, I guess the answer is the Rust project is handling this problem for Nix right now, and
This is
maybe the
what's
Rust
called,
project.
it's not bootstrappable. That's what I've heard the term.
Yeah, or I mean, it might be bootstrappable, but it's not bootstrapped in Nix packages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Process to bootstrap it the way you suggested is just prohibitively expensive. Because even though it's true what you said, it's it needs to be optimized if you were to expect anyone to do this ever. Because even
Yeah,
building the Rust language one time, the compiler one time, the toolchain one time is expensive.
right.
So we need like a 3-4 step kind of a thing, not
Well,
a
I mean, are the Rust folks good about not?
1,000 step, you know?
Well, I mean, I don't know what the Rust C rules are. Like, are they actually? Maybe they're good. Maybe they thought about this and they're good about like saying, yeah, we're when we add new features, all our users get to use them for a while, and it takes, we don't get to use them for a very long time. And that would reduce the number of steps, right? Like if they said every year or every, N years.
I think they're the opposite. I think they want to bring them into the implementation as early as possible.
Yeah, maybe. But,
I think
and then I
many
guess
of
my
the
other
Rust features
response,
are motivated by the development of the toolchain.
yeah, my other response though would be, you're right, it's an expensive operation, but like even in the pure Nix sense, I don't think it's an operation where its inputs change ever, right? Like it's like all the inputs to bootstrap yourself up, like none of that code's changing, right? So like what I guess I'm saying is it's very cacheable.
But there's no argument that would make this seem reasonable as a bootstrapping strategy. Bootstrapping means a person could review it. It's a kind of sovereignty thing that Dawn could review the entirety of the build chain leading to some artifact, and Dawn cannot do it. Cannot do it if it needs to be built toolchain version by version by version until the current version.
Yeah,
Not
I'm not sure
possible.
that that's what bootstrappable means.
It is. It's the in that conversation. It's like software sovereignty, bill of materials, trusting trust, root of trust, trust chain. You have to be able to review. There must be no, if there is some binary code, some executable in that chain, then it better be
I'm not
reviewable. Like,
sure. Yeah, but I'm not suggesting that, right?
mm,
Like the thing I'm suggesting, the
mm-hmm,
using older and older versions of GCC to get to modern GCC and using older and older versions of Rust to, you know, until you get to the Rust that was last written in C++ or whatever. That's all source code all the way down until you get to that, like, handwritten assembly thing at the very beginning, the stage zero, whatever, something or other.
mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Nobody's going to actually read all that code, right? Like, it's not just you got to read Rust, C's source code, you got to read all the relevant versions of Rust C's source code and like, the whole, like you alluded to the trusting trust thing. Any of them could have snuck in a backdoor and you got to read all of them or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it is all code all the way down. And so I feel like that meets the definition of bootstrappable. Like the definition of bootstrappable, including some like arbitrary limit on number of lines of code that you have to read,
Yeah,
seems like a
well,
weird definition.
it's you could say there is one definition, there's another definition, and I think the conversation these days and the attempts to make, like, for example, Nix packages bootstrappable, and what has been achieved in I'm not sure it's been achieved in Nix. I should know it because I've had like podcast episodes about this, but then I saw some things that are strange in Student by examining. I saw a tarball. Like if you use Student to build something like I think it's if you look at the hello package in
Mhm.
XPKGs, I think there's a tarball there somewhere, and it might not be source code. I'm not sure. I kind
Yeah,
of saw
weird.
something strange.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe I just misunderstood what I was saying. Maybe that tarball is source code.
Hmm.
But that's what they call bootstrapping. Uh, that it's reviewable.
Yeah, it's just like I would
Mm,
reviewable is like such a vague amorphous concept. Like I would dare say that like GCC is not reviewable, or like OpenSSL is not reviewable, or
yeah.
any massive old project. Maybe even Rust C is not reviewable. It's certainly not reviewable by me, but like it's hopefully less of a shit show than some of those classic ancient projects I just listed.
Mm-hmm.
All
Mm-hmm.
respect to the people who built and work on those projects. They are badasses through and through, and I thank them for all their contributions to humanity. But I also suspect that those code bases are terrifying, and I would say unreviewable.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I think you've had actual conversations about this with real human beings, whereas I've just like out of curiosity sometimes stumble across what is it bootstrappable.org, is that website where it talks about like, hey, this is what bootstrappable means and why you should care about it and why you should convince other people to care about it, and if you're a compiler developer, here's what you should do. um, so I've skimmed parts of that website a few times because I find that stuff
Interesting.
interesting.
I'll make a note.
I think it's bootstrappable.org.
I'll find it.
Yeah.
Whose turn is it to find
I
love?
was
Yours.
failing to
Yours. Mine.
analyze.
Maybe
Now
it's
I'm
mine.
I'm rotating to you because I'm still running Tokay here. It's not. Uh,
I'm pretty sure there's a problem there. It was never slow for me.
yeah, well, the find command I'm running is also slow. So I mean,
I
uh,
look.
yeah.
I'll run Toke on Nix packages, and I'll show you that it's not slow. Here,
Okay.
Nix packages, Toke. Boom.
Damn. All right.
Many languages here.
Yeah.
Okay. We.
So we were rebasing. We were
Let's start here.
just trying. I think we're trying to get to the point where we can demonstrate that our shell is broken.
Then
So I think our
reload.
shell will load, but I think it's broken in the sense that it's not actually doing the pre-commit hook stuff.
Pre-commit. Oh, right. Pre-commit. pre-commit
Now,
hook, and
what's
we had these two options:
yeah?
interactive and startup. What does that
So
mean?
I want to prove that it's broken before we talk about how to fix it, if that's all
Uh-huh.
right.
Sure.
So I think this is hard to prove that it's broken because, like, you probably,
It's not hard to
successfully,
prove here. Remove
yeah. Okay,
dot
so you
git
got to remove like .git hit.
hooks
Yeah. Okay. Yep. That
pre-commit.
so pre-commit right now is like a symlink to somewhere, and now if you do a during reload, that file does not get recreated, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remove
Cool.
it. Cannot remove the
Well,
such file.
yeah. Okay. Great. Cool. All right. So we've reproed the issue. Sorry for calling that hard. um, and now let's fix it.
So there's the interactive, and but there's documentation for this, documentation for that, but but that's it. There's no documentation for what they're in.
Yeah. Script to run. And then what was the other one? Startup?
Yeah.
And that is equally obtuse.
Dev shell's name dev shell interactive. Dev shell's name dev shell startup.
And it also says script to run. I think we got to look at the source code or try them and
What?
try to guess from observation.
What would the source code tell us?
We'd see how they're used. Oh, look, startup. Okay, so, I wonder if this is relevant. Have you ever used durin exec?
No.
So I bet this is the difference. Because you see how 2 lines above where you are, it runs the startup stuff, and 3 lines below where you are, it runs the
Yes.
interactive stuff. And there's this like if statement for the interactive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So my guess, I can't quite read that. What is that? Dollar dash equals star I star? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. My guess is I don't understand that if statement, but my guess is if you're using the command during exec, that you don't end up going into the if statement. During exec is a
Mm-hmm.
command where you basically give it a path to a folder that has an nvarc file, and then a command to run. And it'll run that command in the context of the during shell.
Okay. So interactive it is.
In this case, interactive feels more correct, I guess. I mean, I guess startup's also reasonable, right? Like if you were to use like during exec to run a git command in this repo, and it was the first time you ever ran it. I don't think the distinction matters for our purposes.
Pre-commit or like
Yeah, pre-commit
pre-commit.
sounds reasonable. Yep. And is this script maybe all we need? It's a shell. It's a valid shell blurb. Alrighty.
Reload. Something's wrong.
Dev shell's default interactive does not exist. Oh, are we missing a dev shell? Because
Yeah.
the error we got was dev shell's default. Yeah, see how we have dev shell.packages right below?
Yeah.
That must be dev shell again, yeah. Cool.
I didn't mean to do it in here, but this did not fail. Reload.
Okie dokie. Do we have a pre-commit hook?
Then no, we don't.
Bummer.
You know what? Maybe there's reload. Well, it is a script.
Wow, it is. Yeah.
Why isn't it? Let's try Nick's develop.
Get hooks.
It does not exist.
Yeah. I see it running a command pre-commit install. I wonder if that binary isn't present. Mob starts 7. I'm gonna. Oh, hey, the toke is still chugging along. But this thing finished.
How many
So,
format versions of Web Open Font?
a lot of fonts. A lot of different versions of WAF files. Various Unicode things, and then that's funny, with very long lines. TTFs, in addition to WAFs. Troth. I feel like, is that something about parsing languages or parameters or something? I don't know. There's some Python code in here. That's good to know. Need Python to bootstrap Rust. PNG, JPEG. Oh man, JavaScript. That's a little. Maybe it's a manual that's included. HTML
That's
docs.
reasonable.
Probably not part of actually compiling it. I hope. A lot of HTML, all with different line lengths, some which don't have line
Maybe it's best to
terminators.
do this on a specific directory.
Yeah. Where are all the elf? Okay, I was curious about elf. Okay, so here we go. So there are a bunch of elf files in here. Yeah, with various debug info stripped or not, and third versus position independent executables. So yeah, doesn't feel like there's Rust code in here. At least we haven't seen it yet. And then more ASCII text. So yeah, I don't think there's Rust source code in here.
That's fine. One thing there isn't here is Rust source code.
Yeah. Oh, I lied. There's one. In an HTML docs folder. So yeah. So yeah, this must be like the bootstrap tooling, like the thing you need to, I don't know, do something.
No, that is
Interesting.
the toolchain. It's a compiled
Oh, it
release of
had
the toolchain.
that had Rust C in it. I see. Okay, that makes sense. Gotcha. Okay. Well, I take back all my whining the other day about something not being built from source. If Nix Packages hasn't solved it, it's challenging enough problem.
But the complaint about Oxalica Rust overlay that we had earlier.
Yeah, I take it back. Because Crane must
It's
be using binaries under the hood. It's like arguably a complaint against Crane for not calling it out in the same way that Oxalica did.
sure.
So,
or a complaint against oxalic arrest override that mentions something that is like there is no alternative to.
right.
Thereby confusing us.
Sure. All right. So if I do a turned reload, we have no love yet, right? That is not going to produce ls.get/works. We commit. Okay, well, I have one, but that's probably. Oh, it's not a symlink. I'm surprised. File generated by pre-commit. Sure. Fine. What? RM. That thing. Excuse me. My shell is still loading. There we go. And just like you, I don't have the file. No surprise there. This caught my eye. If, what is that saying? If this is not an empty string?
That seems funny.
Yeah, this must be generated code, right?
Generated, yeah.
Returns true if the length is 0. Okay, so the length is 0, so this returns false, which means we go into the if statement. So we don't call.
But I don't know that it's executed. It's like, don't assume this actually gets executed.
Oh, you don't think this is getting executed?
I just traced it, but
Sure. Okay, fine. Good point. Let's start there. Dev shell.
how does it work? What's like the hook to even, how does it implement it? Shell
Hi.
hook.
Well, let's just do this. Echo hi. Exit 1. No, for a moment. Just to minimize the amount of spew. Okay. Yeah, that didn't do anything.
Trinix develop.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh, I wonder if it's not interactive because of the way dev shell works,
You mean
right?
Diren?
Sorry, the way direnv works, yeah. Because direnv, it like it starts a non-interactive batch process to evaluate this thing, captures all the environment variables, and then percolates them into your shell.
Okay.
So let's change it to startup. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Bummer. Start up. Now I have it. Yeah, so that worked. I'll remove the trace valve because that's really loud,
Hmm.
and I'll do a mod next.
I'm sorry, I'll be back in a moment. Okay.
All right. See you soon. Some API. Yeah, create your tracker. API, DRV config, and doesn't need that, doesn't need that, does need those two. Okay, and then we haven't solved that yet. Later.
Check out my dog.
I'm looking. Oh, trying to get the sun.
No, she just she wants to see outside, so she goes on the other side of the curtain for a while, and then she falls asleep there.
Oh, well, maybe the sun helps with the falling asleep. Okay, I made one change while you were gone, which
Okay.
was
Are we
uh,
nexted?
not yet. Can I show you this change? Do you see my screen? Oh, I'm not sharing. Okay. You can see it on your screen. I'll do a mod next. And then if you start and then a
I
show.
solved this problem where, remember, if I have a group and I go select the group,
Oh,
and now,
yep.
so there's simply like a missing default binding for focus child, and I bound it, and now I can
Good.
child.
Which child?
Last. This is the last focus child.
Okay. And then once you're in that level, you can navigate
I
between children.
can, yeah. And
Sweet.
I can do a nested
Okay, so this is
hierarchy.
arbitrarily nested.
Nested hierarchy. Nested hierarchy. Wait, not what I expected exactly.
It feels like you're splitting whatever you've currently got focused.
Oh, yes, but here, split. Look, it doesn't do exactly the same thing as the previous level. Maybe it's a width, minimum width thing. I'm not sure,
I
but
mean,
here,
to my eyes, it looks like it
up,
splits the
up,
available
up,
space.
down, down, down. Parent, child, child. That's it.
Okay, cool.
Um, what did you want me to see? The show?
Oh yeah, I just wanted you to see. The API environment variables, we hadn't, we left them there. It's on the top. It's the first honk. I
Mm-hmm.
just, I got that incantation from our fetcher because our fetcher was already threading in the
Yeah.
GitHub GraphQL thing. So that's all. That's all you missed. And then index func.
Okay. So what this?
Yeah, which I don't think we know how to do yet. It's like arguably a breaking change depending on your perspective, right? We were talking about how these packages
What
our
more?
Flake provides are not actual regular old, like
It's all
overwritable.
of it's all this.
Yeah.
That's all that remains.
So it might be nice to check if we have a Nix Flake check passing at this point, and
Yeah.
just to make sure we're really that close to the bitter end of this journey.
Sweet end.
The sweet end.
What is this? Oh no.
Oh, we talked about this
Right.
before. Did we file an issue?
Mm-hmm.
Or have we not done that? Okay. I didn't subscribe. Did we get a response?
But yeah, that we basically I got it wrong. Crane does not provide meta main program. Actually, we had a meta main program and removed it, assuming that we'll get one for free. I think if we look at the diff
Oh,
against main, we'll see that we
okay.
simply removed this.
I see. Oopsies. And is he open to adding it?
No, because
Oh,
it
wait.
kind of seems like not NCI. I think that's
Really?
so Crane would,
It,
yeah.
it's a crane thing. Okay.
I think
So
so.
I guess we or he's best. But I'm fine with just adding it and moving on. I'm also fine with
Hmm.
filing an issue with Crane. I'm also fine with going off and doing it and sending an FER to Crane. What do you want to do?
First, we just do it.
All right. Maybe we could add that while we wait.
Also, it's not. I don't. It's straightforward. Yeah, MetaMain program is. I think it's statically analyzable.
Yeah, it seems like it would be. What is it? Like if you have a main.rs, you know what its name is going to be?
Mm-hmm. For the name of the package by default, but then there's some logic in Cargo Toml where you can rename
Override it.
that, or you can have arbitrary number of executables. Create.
Yeah. Yep. Sounds like some moderately annoying Nick's code to write. I can see why Crane hasn't done it yet.
My CPU is not entirely utilized.
Bummer. Getting more cores isn't going to help then.
Might even make it worse because those are not as fast as this.
Well, while this is chugging along, shall we add the main program? Or add it back, I guess?
Yeah. Uh,
Does that go under drv config
I
somehow?
want to do. I want to do git ship. Right? Main been removed from. So this is exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
We had this PKG args
I see.
meta. Main program is pname.
Makes sense.
Now we don't have such a thing, but we can just do it here.
Yep.
Is that a make? Is that a make derivation thing? I think so.
Yeah, sounds like it would be.
So uh, it's this, right? Why do we? What do we? What is this?
Yeah, we should probably get rid of that. Doesn't seem like something we'd need.
Wait. Okay.
We should check if we have other versions of that floating around.
No. Just this
Okay.
and
Native build
inputs.
inputs.
Oh no. The the right application. This is the one we just. And this is release. Yeah. So this is a relic. Make derivation.
Meta.
Meta. Main program. API.
Okay.
It's the P
I
name.
doubt it's called API. It's probably PR Tracker API, right? Yeah.
Nexted. And it failed
Bummer. Where
on
did we fail?
in the documentation package. The environment variables are missing. PostgreSQL, initdb, and the other one.
This is a package that we build. Looks like
Yes.
show. What's the name of the package?
You can do the meta main program on the other one.
Okay.
Fetcher. You have the RV config there already.
I see it. Yeah. And the program that failed was program docs. Is that right?
I think so. Go to that module, program docs.
Yeah.
So there's an output. Does that mean that there's a crate called docs that we can
So,
configure?
yeah.
You won't find code for it. This is the module. So it
Mm-hmm.
would be something like per system NCI crates docs. I think you
See it.
can look at the other example, like at what we just did.
This thing?
Yeah, per system NCI crates.
Okay. I see.
No, it's not
Let
end
me
though.
give it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What are
Yeah, of course it
what are
is.
we
No,
trying to give
sorry.
it? Okay. Cool.
Bug.
Lib and
PKGs.
I haven't saved yet. So let's see this thing fail. Well, I guess it's gonna fail.
Any word on that Nix, what is it, Triumph PR?
Uh, Treefunked is where I need it to be. Uh, Nonetheless, I got feedback on a PR, which was like a very much work in progress PR. It was
Mm-hmm.
like the thing that made it like made the stuff I did work async, and a maintainer was like seemed supportive of it. So I started like trying to make it real because I hadn't tried to make all the tests pass or like I broke basically every other built in. So then I started working on that a few
Mm-hmm.
days ago, and it turned into just a nasty thing where it's like there's some cache helper that like is built for synchronous functions, and I really don't want to create two versions of it, one for async functions and one for sync functions. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think I have to, and it's just like it was just blowing up into like annoying, tedious work that I then ran out of time to work on. So,
Mm.
and then once I get that PR landed, then I still need to rebase all the next front stuff on top of it. So it's it's just an annoying amount of Lua code, and I'm not a Lua expert. It takes me a long time to debug some very basic things.
Well, That's how you get better at Lua.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm disappointed that like callbacks seem to be the like way of doing things in the NeoVim ecosystem,
Mm-hmm.
and I like am not thrilled that I'm like with this PR. I'm like making. I'm basically gonna have to rework all these like dynamic commands, which right now are written as like synchronous things. I got to rework all of them to be async things that do callbacks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I could just go even further and say like everything that uses this like because there's this like caching helper function that's used throughout non-ls.
What's so bad with synchronous?
It blocks the UI, like it blocks your editor.
Sure. Let's say we understand that. What's the actual problem with that? I
Oh,
mean,
I
if
mean that
everything currently is synchronous there, why are you making something asynchronous? Why
because
is your contribution require async?
the next month thing, it does not.
Yes.
No. So yeah. So the PR I put together for next month, which I have not gotten a ship it on yet, is all sync, or it's not all sync. Sorry. Uh, the actual invocation of the entry point, the command, is itself async, like it doesn't block your editor. Um, but the
Mm-hmm.
discovery of the entry point is sync, and that is a slow, annoying process, and that's fine. I was like, this PR makes the world a better, like gives people a thing, and it could be better. So I put one PR out that does that, and I still haven't gotten a shipment on that. And I put out a subsequent PR that said, hey, if we make this thing async, it'll be a better experience for people. And then I got feedback on that subsequent PR, which I made marked as a draft. And I was like, this thing
So
does not have. Sorry,
what
go ahead.
about the former PR? How do we get that merged?
I need somebody to give me a ship it on it.
Okay,
I could start
give me the
bugging
link.
people.
I want. Give me the link.
Sure, on the LS. What's funny is I think I have push power on this repo because I think they've got something misconfigured. Here we go. So this right here, I guess it's still marked as draft. I need to make it not a draft. Um, this is the one that does its sync. This is the one that then like makes dynamic command async, which gives a much better experience. And this PR from Lossless I consider to be obsoleted by the work I did in 192. But anyways, I'll send
Mm-hmm.
you a link. How do I send a chat? There we go. So I think the only reason I left this as a draft is because, yeah, this is not relevant anymore because TreeFunked has finally changed. And then I guess I've got all, yeah, so I need to respond to Lossless here. So,
Okay, so the
I
ball
won't
is in
do
your
this tonight.
court.
Sure, the ball is in my court. I need to get myself a ship.
This is still building. Let's rotate.
Okay, mob next. Go for it.
Um. So now if I do the reload, I should have. Did you remove the trace?
I did.
Okay. Okay. And the next like check. should be cached. Most of it. This may be not cached. What now? What do we do about, what is it?
Possible we fixed it.
What this,
Oh, that thing.
I now understand what this is. This is like, so if this comes from Dream2Nix, doesn't it have extend?
I don't know. You have a lot more experience with Dream2Nix than me.
I don't have experience with Dream2Nix. I have
Is
experience with the
extend,
author of Dream2Nix.
sorry, is
And it's kind of
extend just
embarrassing.
something from the module system?
From the what build system?
From the Nix module system? Is that where extend comes from?
I don't, probably.
And so you were saying something is embarrassing?
That every time I meet the author of Dream2Nix, not every time, but I thought about it as like, sorry, what is your most meaningful open source contribution project is about? And I never bothered checking, but I did. We eventually found out, right? It's using the Nix packages module system for packaging.
Yeah. But I think it's doing that. Plus standardizing some stuff around block files or something, like trying to make it easier to write toolchain or
This
language
thing.
specific tooling.
So okay. So this fails.
Okay, so we did not solve that problem. Is it still program docs failing?
This is DB context failing.
But what derivation? Like, I see default docs mentioned.
DB context. You see what mentioned?
I'm just looking at the Nix level, like the unindented
I'm saying
line. It
this.
says,
I'm saying this,
yeah.
and
But
then
the derivation we're building is this default docs or a dependency of default docs.
VM10.
The
Okay.
first error, like the first, yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And is that the error you got before, the one that we just tried to fix on my rotation but didn't actually verify?
Default stocks. Probably. So this doesn't do it.
Maybe not.
But it allows us to. Maybe this is not checked. This is free form, so we're shooting into space here.
Yeah. So disappointed with freeform. I do not understand. Oh.
Well, freeform has its place. I think it's the usage of it
Yeah, I just
in
wish it
where
was
it does not
obvious
belong.
when you were in a freeform context.
So I will trace libtrace seek seek and maybe one config NCI creates. See what's there. This- Oh, there it is. Docs exists, but let's do two. Maybe it's just, literally that. Otherwise empty. Let's
Hmm.
Unix build docs. Program docs? Program docs. Oh, I don't know, Jeremy. This looks legit. Let's try commenting stuff. So confused about this key binding. Oh, oh, look at that.
Okay, so that just, we made something up
We made
that
something
did
new.
not exist. Okay, cool. Good debugging.
Okay, we need to look at the docs. I'm going to rotate. To look at the docs for MCI, see how we provide options to the docs build.
Hmm. And my poor laptop is still building here. Oof. All right. NCI docs. That's not gonna
Get
work.
yourself
Oh.
a desktop. Desktop.
Yeah. Do you fly with your desktop?
I did once. It was
um.
for relocation though, not for travel.
I don't know if I told you we brought our gaming PC up to Wisconsin for that big trip we did. Um. That thing was not built for transporting. It was like just a computer we had assembled on a piece of plywood, so it needed some work to be able to transport it.
I did that as well.
A computer on a piece of plywood.
Yes. The problem with that is that I gave it to a friend when I was kind of done with it,
Hmm.
and then he kept it in storage in a room for a while. When he
Hmm.
finally wanted to use it, found out that it's been peed on by his cat.
Oh, jeez. Lovely.
So that was the end of that one. It was a bull. Was there an AMD bulldozer at some point?
Pretty cool name.
FX something?
There was a bulldozer.
Yeah,
2011.
terribly hot. Ran terribly hot.
Large number of weak cores. That was the future. More cores. Okay. Docs only package for this crate. So that's a crate by
That's the
crate
output
thing.
we're using, but we want to. That's like an option for a value.
Option for a value.
Uh, yeah, in the module system, sometimes options exist mostly or only to give you a value.
Oh, yeah, I see. Read only. Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, read only.
Okay, docs profile. That's it. That's all the occurrences of the word doc here.
Um, so maybe we need to do an override address on the existing one.
Maybe. Is that a thing in the...
Maybe that's where we. So we have two reasons to use extend now.
Okay, here's
Can
a thing.
you start by like tracing and seeing whether extend exists on this
Uh, sure. Extend exists on what, though?
the package?
Which package?
docs.
So
And
have we found? How do we get our hands on that
look,
thing?
look at line.
Oh, this thing right here.
N- no, not quite. That it's the line 8.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
This thing
mm,
right
no,
here.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. All right. And is there some convenient way for me to just get my hands on? Like, if I go back to this,
The the trace was
well, would this work?
REPL. Yeah, sure. Go REPL.
And you're wondering if we have an extend?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go.
What do we have?
If all arg build command build inputs filter cmake configure steps do check to install docs drv adders. DRV adders sounds new to me. That must be a module system thing. DRV path enable input derivation meson flags meta name meta
Look, it
build
has
inputs.
override and override
Oh
adders.
yes, indeed it does. Override derivation. That's new to me.
Okay, let's go to Dream to Nix. See how this thing is used.
Okay. All right.
Shout out to David Hauer.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So I think DRV parts is where the module system stuff comes from. So I don't know if we need to look at the docs for DRV parts instead.
Let's do it. Look at the reports. But it's in the process of being refactored to la la la. I think
Yeah.
that's old news.
I see how it's moved. So modules, that's docs. Okay. Whatever we're gonna find on this page.
Reference. Internal
Concepts modules.
over. Okay.
Okay.
Benefit. Okay, just read.
Yeah. So I've read this page before. I don't know if you remember me mentioning
Mm-hmm.
there was this old talk from Elko
Right.
about this. Yes, I did watch that talk. And it's not going to answer the question we're asking right now. I can tell you that. um, so, okay, this is just, why this is nice. I don't know that this is really going to tell us how to do what we want, but I guess let's see. So, benefits, deprecate override functions. Changing options of packages and next packages can require chaining different override functions like this. For instance, override adders mixed with override.
Yeah, that
And
sucks.
then, yeah, requires such a deep understanding of Nix and Nix packages before you finally grok this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
While doing the same using Groove to Nix looks like this. So overriding the name.
What you import it,
Well, it's a module. I guess that makes sense.
but okay.
Yep. Then, you get type checking from the module system. Yep. Catch typos. I mean, I got the sense that you don't need to be sold on using the module system.
Yeah,
That's,
it's better than not having a module system.
yeah. So I feel like we don't
Okay,
need
so
to read all
is
these.
that thing a module?
No, I mean, it's a derivation. Can it be both a derivation and a module?
Yeah, why not? If it's an adder set, does it have a
What makes something a module? It's a function, right? Modules are functions, right?
they don't
I
have
guess
to be.
modules are functions or adder sets. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
There is no function here. There are two functions here, the blue ones.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But look, if we have like this is not external. We found that we have override adders and override, right?
Yep.
And sure, maybe we don't like get all of this, and why we don't have extend, why don't we don't have like if it uses Dream2Next, then maybe we kind of should have. Maybe that's not yet really implemented. Blah 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 blah. Or maybe the way that Crane is eventually used is not compatible with that. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, I'm confused
Because
because.
you know what? Here's Crane uses make derivation. Crane is a set of wrappers around make derivation. So
Mhm.
even if Dream2Next is used here for the benefit of kind of figuring out the tree of dependencies,
Yep.
it's not used for the benefit of ending up with a module system package, the
Okay. But are you
DRV
saying
parts.
that NCI provides a module system, which it then massages into invocations of Crane helper functions? Because like this stuff, which we
No,
copied from somewhere.
I think Crane here is because Crane. If you look at Dream2Next, then Dream2Next has Crane Rust Crane options. So I think I'm not sure what is the dependency of. If you could look at that dependency tree, Nix
Hmm.
fake metadata, where is Crane? It's under NCI
Yes.
and Dream2Next. So I think somehow NCI is glue code between Dream2Next and Crane.
Okay. Okay.
But Crane eventually uses make derivation, so
Hmm.
we don't get.
Okay.
But we do get, so because we does, well, so why doesn't it work? Aren't we using
Why did
override?
why does what work?
Why did we comment out the override?
I don't know. That's a different question. We can look at that.
Rotate?
Um,
I don't know why they're commented out. They're commented out because they failed. Weird.
yep. What did we get? What led us to those lines of code? I don't remember.
What is? So let's start with this, right? We're doing this.
Yep.
So we kind of want to do this. It's not the output as is. It's override atters.
Yeah, maybe that might work.
Um, atters.
I don't think we need to reference the old adders, so you don't have to pass a function.
Because it's only n that we're adding.
I think so.
Sure. And
And the equals, and then you take the thing from below.
let's see. this.
Okay.
And,
Reasonable.
yeah, maybe. Build program docs. Hmm. Orientation. I feel we're spending an enormous amount of time on orientation. Just an observation. Nick's,
Well,
of this ecosystem.
yeah, I mean, I wasn't present for the decision to jump over to NCI. I mean, it seems
Cannot
nice.
unlink. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, we're we had stuff working with cargo, right, or with Crane,
We have stuff
and
working with Crane.
I mean, I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm down for us to like make NCI work for us. It seems like a cool project that has a very active maintainer, so and it eliminates some boilerplate. Yeah, yeah, big expense to adopting it too. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
So what is
we
this? Two things: the same error seemingly, but
yes,
also directory not empty, cannot unlink.
I don't know.
It's not the first time I see this thing. Let's build again and see whether this
Oh, you think it's
starts
intermittent?
showing again.
Yikes, that would be scary.
Now the CPU is being used.
Okay,
Directory not
well, got the same behavior that time at least.
stored. Uh, and I think it seems like an error in Crane somewhere. That when a derivation fails, you get an additional error.
Yeah,
You know.
maybe.
So we didn't get our environment variables, did we?
No, we did not. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
But
We could read the NCI code to see how it builds up the indication of Crane's make derivation.
oh, right, I mean, eventually it uses make derivation. I
Is
think
it
we know
this?
that.
Can you comment out line 16 just to make sure we're not getting confused by that?
This is a check,
Yeah.
and this
Oh, no,
refers
that
to
is
that.
referring to it. Sorry, never mind. We're good. We're good.
I want to do who equals row.
Okay. Get that.
That does indeed end up evaluated,
Yep.
but does not end up where we need it to, does it?
I mean, can you override like pre-build here and change that to just a shell script that prints out the environment variables?
Here?
Yeah. Pre-build.
Just pre-build?
I think it's pre-build. And then I don't know, yeah, something and then give it an exit one just so that we can't possibly miss it.
Sorry. There you go.
Some stuff.
I get it. I get it. This is a. I get it. This is the derivation is it's the depths, it's the dependency, right?
Okay. Yeah. So overriding this derivation is not relevant.
It's
We need to reach into the like ephemeral.
what's ephemeral? It's the depths.
Yeah.
Ephemeral because it's implicit.
Yeah,
Okay.
ephemeral might not be the right word. I just mean the one that like gets created not explicitly, like under the
Mm-hmm.
hood from evaluating a TOML
Let's do it.
file.
Let's do
Let's
it.
do what?
I think there's an option for that exactly.
Okay.
But you
Where
know
do we
why?
look?
Like why for only program docs is the only one that failed?
Because with everything else, they are the top level derivation being built. Program docs is the only indirect usage of our crates that depend on these environment variables, right? Or is that not true? Are these actually referenced in like our store crate?
I don't know how program docs works, but I think this problem is specific to program docs.
Yeah.
Take a look at it. Take a look at the implementation of program docs. I think that's the best. Because look, I'll show you what I thought for a moment. If you go to the documentation of NCI.
Sure. Here we go. Here are the docs.
Search for DEPS DRV. See that? So for entire project, you could say the dependency. Do you remember the crane has the dependencies derivation and the actual derivation?
Mm-hmm.
Splits them. So this is you provide the same object, the same set to the same kind of set to the depth derivation.
Got it.
I was thinking because what is failing exactly is a dependency. It's I think it's because if we passed it on to for override atters, then obviously we're not passing it on to the right thing if it still fails.
Yes.
So I'm thinking if this happened for some other package, not program docs, then we would use this
Got it.
depth reconfig.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Here's another. Which one does it fail for? Try building it again, please. Which program docs? I think I get it. It's failing on some one of our crates, right?
Yes.
Which one? Because we can configure each of those crates, not
I
only
mean,
the ones that are programs, also the ones that are libraries. In fact,
okay.
maybe that's what we should be doing because initdb and Postgres are not, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're
Yep.
not the two
They're
programs. They're
they're really
used
the store
in
crate.
some the store crate.
I think so.
I think that's a fix on
No,
main
DB
actually.
context. Sorry.
There you go. Okay, so let's go to main and fix that.
So on main, you're saying we can fix that because that's a crane option? we can take advantage of?
Oh, hold on. I'm wrong. No, no, NCI. No, I'm sorry. NCI can, because NCI gives you options for configuring each crate. So
Okay.
not main, this branch, because this is the branch we introduced NCI.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So yeah, if we could somehow thread these environment variables down to DB context itself and not,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
I guess I
think
don't really understand how it's even making it into the depths at this point. I guess this
because
env
look,
parameter
because
we're using.
local dependencies are not in the depths DRV, not in the
Oh, okay.
dependencies derivation. They're local.
I see. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. There we go.
Yeah, DB context.
Yeah. So
Okay.
confusingly, yeah, we're building DB context, but the derivation, like the next derivation we're in, seems to be called util, which is a little confusing to me. Oh, this is the check. Okay.
Yeah, it would fail if we fix it for util, and then it would fail for something else, possibly.
Like here's DB context right here, right? And it says checking such and such. Don't really understand.
Me neither, that part. But maybe
Anyways,
you could, if you go
I
to the
like your
bottom,
theory.
it'll give
Mm-hmm.
you a list. It's like, you don't getting the entire list. I seem to have gotten like a list at some point. But anyway, yeah, let's configure DB context specifically, and then we won't need this in multiple places, possibly, right?
Let's see.
So I think you make a new module.
Okay. I'll just dump it in this file for now, so we can test this out, and we'll move it.
Wait, oh, okay, yeah.
But what are we gonna?
Con config dot no, sorry, NCI creates DB context. Uh, DRV config dot make derivation
Okay.
dot env.
I think what I'm confused about is you told me these DB context is not getting built in its own derivation, right?
Volition. Yeah.
So it seems weird to me that we would be setting environment variables for it when it is not a derivation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it should be. I'm not sure. Maybe yeah. Let's see what happens. I mean, maybe this works.
Okay.
Build. Okay, this is not it. Let me see. Go through our code and see what drv config env. There you see, I create PR tracker. Yeah, drv config make derivation. Oh, there's make derivation and there's env. I think they're what did we do? It tells us that this doesn't exist.
No. I mean, we haven't tried to run this yet, have we?
And make
Oh, you
derivation
did. Sorry. Okay.
derivation env does not exist. Try without make derivation.
Oh, oh, pardon me. Okay.
DB context. That looks the same.
Yep, looks the same.
Okay, hold on. So you may be right about that part where the crate does not exist. We're just right dot env. What we are doing is no next cargo integration dot env. What? How am I not finding dot env? Because it doesn't exist. We're doing some. I'm doing something wrong. Make the drv config. Oh, okay. That's why. This is what we're doing, right?
Yep, yep. Must
So
be.
this should work, except that I think this crate does not exist other than us.
Sure.
It's like not enabled or something, right? So how are the two, right? What makes PR tracker? What makes API a thing? Hmm? How does this get in the outputs?
How does PR Tracker API get in the outputs?
Um, yeah,
That must be from parsing the what, a cargo toml or something?
maybe it has publish false. Maybe that's it. DB context cargo toml publish false. I think that's probably it. Does this have publish here? Nah. Let's just try. Comment this out. What happens? Now it should be there should be a crate. Because I already expected there would be a crate. I think what's the reason? Must be that publish false.
Okay, sounds plausible.
But this is the same error. Now we have two of these. Running out of ideas here.
Yeah. I mean, I think we should take a look at how this program docs is built. Like, I think reading the NCI source code is
Sure.
where I would go at this point.
mm, Make docs only back. I think it's there. This one. packages, extend modules. Config public. It ends up returning this public part.
Okay. So there's dot extend modules and PKG is passed into this thing. Okay.
Make derivation. Build phase. Where is any? So it's simply overriding the make derivation of something, right? Make docs only package. See this?
Mm-hmm.
The packages at the docs profile. Packages at the docs profile.
Okay. That feels like it would be a package set or something.
Yeah, I think so.
But the argument is called PKG singular in the function in the file we were just looking at. Weird. Doesn't make sense to me.
Maybe this is singular. All targets default target. Make packages, again plural. I'm
Mm-hmm.
wrong. But raw package is a single package. Maybe because this is like extension and it's a module system.
You know.
Anyway, that's just something strange. But
Okay. But the packages we have our hands on don't have this extend modules
I think
method, do
so,
they?
because we get the public part.
I see.
We haven't seen this, right? We would have. We
Yep.
looked through.
Yep. Hmm.
I've nexted, but let's leave it for next time. I'm
Okay.
overloaded.
Yep. I'm getting tired. So this seems like a good stopping point. Too bad. I was really hoping we'd get through that branch today. Um, let's figure it out next week. All
Looking
right. Good
forward.
session. We're getting close.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Jeremy, for participating in the molybdenum software show for 34, episode 34, I think. Thank you, audience, for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to join us and do this with us, because you think you'd like to learn from us, learn from the experience, or maybe you'd like to show us how it's done. It's another option. We'd love to see how it's done. Wouldn't you like to see how it's done, Jeremy?
Always.
Always. Then send me a message. Till next time, be well.
Bye.